told there's some real money in the room.
All right, man, for the people who don't know, let them know who we have in front of our camera today.
Abdul Chappell, a.k.a. 7-star General Screwface.
Okay. Brother Abdul, so where are you from?
From the west side of Fort Worth, Las Vegas Trail area. Come on.
Okay. Around the time that you were growing up, how was it?
So when I was 14, I stole my mom's car, drove to California trying to get down with Eazy-E. I didn't meet Eazy-E in NWA. I ended up meeting the Crips rolling 60s in Grape Street. I saw brotherhood up in California. I didn't see no banging, so I wanted to be a Crip. I came back to Fort Worth and started the first Texas-based Crip Set on Las Vegas Trail. Now there was other Crips that was down here, folk Trey 60s, Grape Street, who Boot brought down here, but I started the first Texas-based Crip Set. Like, you know, if you're familiar with the homie Big Trent, he started the first Texas-based blood set, Truman Street Bloods. And so at that time, when I think when it first started off, if that's what you're referring to, when it first started off at that time, Murderworth was something totally different because you had a different breed of individuals that was out in the streets. Everybody didn't hustle, everybody didn't sell dope, everybody wasn't on the block. You know what I'm saying? Everybody couldn't hustle, everybody couldn't sell dope. You had one water flow in each hood. There wasn't 1,000 dealers, everybody was getting something from one particular person.
It was structured.
So it was structured in order, you know, in the neighborhoods at the time.
What took away the structure in order from the neighborhoods?
There's an accumulation of things that took place. Once, when they hit us with their 400-man indictment and wiped out all the original cats from each neighborhood, you had older cats our age who went to school with us, who had been watching us, but they wasn't, you know, they wasn't block huggers. Right. When we was all gone, they saw a vacuum. They stepped out, filtered. The youngsters don't know no difference, so when they telling these war stories to these youngsters, they telling these war stories about stuff that we went through. But the problem is that these older cats that went to school with us, that these youngsters was looking up to, you know, they was deep in the game, they ain't got the rules missing, they ain't got no etiquettes and principles. They never been to jail, never been locked up, didn't understand anything. So what changed the hood was when those cats started getting locked up, you had this thing called Getting Down First that came out. And the confidential informant was introduced to the jungle. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in our community right now.
Is the confidential informant?
Is the confidential informant. There's no consequences any longer to things that you do in the streets. There was consequences before. You know, you wasn't gonna trip with everybody and you know, even with the blood and Crip thing, it just wasn't no on-site thing just because somebody had red or blue on. There was principles and etiquettes to the way things that was going on back then. Mm-hmm. And so now everything goes. You know, homies crossing out, homies, dudes getting out after they didn't told on half the block and people throwing them barbecues. I mean, there's no etiquettes and principles. Where there's no structure, where there's no counsel, it's gonna always be confusion and chaos.
Yeah, Free Ray Ricky Ross said that snitching is now a part of the game.
I know Brother Free Ray, and yeah, it's a part of the game because it's been allowed to be a part of the game. Right. I'm saying I grew up in an era to where if you went to trial in the 90s, or you went to court, you didn't have to worry about nobody's paperwork getting signed up. You didn't have to worry about the prosecutor pulling up on you talking about you better take this plea or these names gonna tell on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You held your water, and snitching wasn't even an option. You know what I'm saying? So confidential informants, you know, from both aspects, from the political aspect and from the government aspect, they try to say that confidential informants help in the community. Right. The drugs still hit the streets. The confidential informants are given immunity to ride throughout neighborhoods, sell dope, and do whatever they want to. And as long as they telling on somebody else, they can do whatever they want to. That's hypocrisy. It's not changing anything. It's actually promoting it. What it's doing is it's telling the youngsters that you can sell dope as long as you sell it for the feds. You can sell dope as long as you sell it for the police. That's not helping our communities.
Right. Wow. So, why do you think colors took over so rapidly? What was it about the colors that made young black men need to be a part of it?
Again, it's an accumulation of things, but I think that the influx or the influence of NWA across America, not just Texas, is just, we embrace the Los Angeles lifestyle more than anybody. And if you know anything about the Great Migration, the majority of the people that are in California came from Texas, Louisiana in the first place, right? So we all got family up that way. I think that poverty, you know, the need for some type of formation of family, you know, because the brothers off inside the cliques or the tribes. I don't like calling them gangs. The brothers off inside the tribes, you know, they were your father if your father wasn't there. They was, you know what I'm saying, they was the ones that was helping you, looking out for you, putting money in your hands, things of the such. So I think it took place based on poverty, man. You know what I'm saying? It was appealing based on poverty, and then the glorification and glamorization, glamorized from Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, the movies and colors and things.
So I noticed you called them tribes.
Right.
Why tribes?
Because we're tribal people by nature. Crips, Bloods, GDs, and Vice Lords ain't no different than Mandingos, Ashantes, Fulanes, and Mandinka tribes. If you go down toward the Mandinkas, they live by zebras, so they gonna have some zebra off inside they wear. If you go down there to the Mandingos, they live by elephants, they got elephant tusks. It ain't no different than a person having a red rag or a blue rag, or somebody saying cuz or folk or people of blood. It's tribal language. Once we start understanding that it's okay, it's cool to be tribal, but let's not be the tribes that destroy the neighborhood, let's be the tribes that build the hoods up. So I'm hoping that these youngsters, this next generation, understand, don't make the mistakes we made.
Right, absolutely. So now you do your time, you come back, you see what's going on in your community from gentrification. Stop 6 projects are now closing. The Butler housing projects are closing. The downtown project's gone. What do you make of gentrification?
So gentrification is not a bad thing when the people, the area that's being regentrified, if you give those people an opportunity to get trades and jobs and provide some pathways so they can pay for the new housing that's coming, it's not a bad thing because everybody wants money put off in their neighborhoods. But when you just relocating people and you're not dealing with the problems like they're doing right now, building a paradise for themselves and moving us, and you know the sad thing about it is that you got cats from Stop 6 and cats from Butler housing and different areas finna be moved into one location. And ain't nobody sat down and talked to you, so you know it's gonna be some chaos. You got cats from different hoods.
You got
moved into one
Bloods,
area.
you got Crips coming that have...
Bloods, Crips, dudes, that's, you know what I'm saying, you know, there was gangs here in Fort Worth before the Bloods and Crips, you know, the Polo Boys, all in the family, Southside Boy, niggas from Como, SMF, things of the such.
GQ Boys.
GQ Boys. So K9 Posse, different individuals. I think that if we as a people, see, one of the things that I say, man, is that no group of people can consider themselves equal until they're doing for themselves what other groups of people are doing for themselves. So we can blame white people all we want to. It has its place. But right now, what's going on in our neighborhoods, man, it's got to do with us sitting down with each other and being real with each other, man. You know, all this old backbiting and deceit and all this foolishness that's going on. I mean, you know, I say to all the OG cats that lived in the murder worth era, all the cats is my age, my peers. If you'd have been to the penitentiary once, twice, you'd have been shot, you understand what the consequences of the game is. How you gonna call yourself OG if you ain't telling these youngsters what the consequences is? You can't pass down no sucker information to them because you know what's gonna be the ending result. And now with the influx of this new confidential informant in the jungle, you got a new beast out there that ain't playing by no rules, man. So, I mean, what is the game worth? A lot of us understood we was hugging the blocks. It was a means to an end back at the time. We got in the game so we could put some steak with the beans and rice, right?
Right.
But the game is addicting just like the drugs, bro. The lifestyle, you know, you come from an individual, you take a person who broke, who ain't never had nothing, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later he's being called like a god, but dudes honking horns at him every time they see him. That creates a bit of narcissism off inside a person's mind, right? You take a person from impoverished conditions and put him into a famous status, and that's what the game did. We got a sidetrack, bro, with what the purpose was.
Right. A brother like yourself, educated, I see you involved with the youth, the political process. Why now? What made you?
I wish somebody would have did it for me when I was young. You know what I'm saying? I wish somebody, it's not an optional with me, it's obligatory. You know, I think that men, we know there's a saying in the Bible that when I was a child, I do as a child did. When I'm grown, I do as a grown person does.
Amen.
I mean, at some point in time, bro, we got to accept the real, you know, the reality that, you know, we made some mistakes. And I apologize to all the youngsters out there who grew up, whose fathers and mothers was addicted to crack back in the game. I apologize for my participation for taking your parents out your household, because by removing them and not understanding that we're destroying and ravishing our own neighborhoods, we created what we call beasts and savages, bro. You know, if you ain't got no father in the household and you ain't got no management, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna do what's ever necessary. And a lot of these youngsters right now, I don't blame them for hugging the blocks, man. If there ain't no reasonable pathway out of poverty, I don't blame nobody if they wake up in the morning, ain't no food in the refrigerator and the lights is out. You don't think about Muslim, Christian, what's right or wrong at the time. You think about self-preservation, man. You think about trying to get the lights on and trying to get some food in your house. So, you know, all I can say is collectively, when you talking about community revolutionary and community revolution and progress, when you talking about a revolution as far as with Crips and the Bloods, the original Bloods, they were started as a branch from the Panthers, man. So let's get back to what it's supposed to be. You can't even really be saying that you Crippin' if you ain't about the revolution. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna say you Crippin' and the R in Crip is for revolution and you ain't about the struggle? It's one thing to not know something. It's another thing to know something and hear dudes, man, I ain't on that black talk. Well, what type of time are you on? You know what I'm saying? What type of time is you on? If you ain't on no black time, if you ain't on no time about trying to help your people, what type of time you on? We gotta stop tolerating. You don't go in the white folks' neighborhood, piss on stores, bust no bottles. You don't go out there in their neighborhoods and sell dope on their corners. You tell a dude to go out in one of the white communities, man, them white folks like you. So you got more respect for the people in the other communities, but you'll piss on your lawns and bust glass for kids to stand on it all day. So, you know, that got to deal with us, man. If Black Lives Matter.
Can I challenge you on that?
Yeah, please challenge me on that.
I believe this is just a personal belief, obviously through research and through things that I've observed.
Okay.
But I have to blame white supremacy for that, and one of the primary reasons, specifically mass incarceration. And
right.
The reason I say that is because a lot of us didn't have men to teach us how to cut the fucking yard.
That's true. No, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Listen to what I'm saying.
Not saying
what white. No. And you're supposed to disagree. I wouldn't want nobody around me, yes man, and me, and agreeing with everything that I'm doing. That ain't no homeboy. That's somebody you need to be watching. Right. So what I'm saying is this: that has its place. That has its place. But it's a lot of intelligent black men, a lot of intelligent black sisters, it's a lot of intelligent brothers right now. We ain't got no time to be worrying about what the white folks gonna do. Why? Let me ask you a question. If I see me and you homeboys, right? Dude want to fight you. I say, bruh, him and his homeboys over there, you know I'm gonna ride with you, but you gotta get out there and scratch yourself. I'm not finna go over there and fight you. You gotta get out there and scratch it. Now I ain't gonna let him whoop you and trip with you, you know what I'm saying? I might jump in. So why would we expect white people or anybody else to come do stuff in our own communities that we ain't doing ourselves, bro? It's 2021. I understand from 1619 to 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation, 100 years Jim Crow till 1964 when the Civil Rights Bill was passed. We can sit here and talk about dates and times because I'm a studious person. That's what I do in the first place. But it ain't no justification for us to keep tripping with each other, bro. Ain't no justification. I don't like how that nigga looked at me. For real? You gonna go take that man from his family and then you gonna go to the penitentiary and be on the phone crying to your mama and crying to your grandma about your commissary money because you don't like the way he looked at him? We gotta be thinkers. And you're right. The system is designed to do exactly what it's doing. So we gotta quit talking about what the system's doing. The system's designed to do what it's doing. Mass incarceration, locking us up, flooding dope in our communities, flooding guns in our community. The system is designed for that, bro.
Absolutely. Is there, if you saw a younger version of yourself today, what would you tell him?
I see younger versions of myself every day, man, because I'm out on the front line. I ain't left the hood, you know what I'm saying? I'm in everybody's neighborhood talking to kids, man. So I would just tell him the truth, bro. I'll explain to him what he got coming. Weigh it out. Do the benefits outweigh the consequences? See, the blessings that we had was we knew when we committed a crime, we knew the penalty for the crime. We had dudes around us. The Crips that came to OG Nolan, who brought Grape Street down here, OG Chucky, they knew the law, bro. You know what I'm saying? So they told us the time that was carried with the crimes we was committing. So you weighed out your consequences and your benefits, man. I would tell the youngsters to weigh out the consequences. Whatever God got coming for you, gonna come to you anyway, man. Don't be in no rush, man. Whatever you got coming in life gonna come to you anyway, man. You know, keep your head up, understand that your circumstances don't control your fate, man. If we raised in the mud, that don't mean we gotta stay in the mud, bro. Plant some seeds in that mud, grow something, use it for harvesting. But sitting wallowing in the mud, that don't make no sense, bro. Just like the concept of trapping. I mean, a trap is a place where you get set up, man, you get caught. Why are we at the mind frame to where we saying we cool with trapping, bro? I mean, it might just sound like a fly term, but it is what it is. It's a trap, bro.
No, for sure, for sure. Anything else you'd like to let the people know?
Man, y'all look out for us in United Hoods of America. We in 21 different states. We got some albums dropping soon. We got brothers that's got their paperwork. They're strong, sincere brothers about to implement Build a Better Hood in these 21 different states, man. We got Crips, Bloods, GDs, and Vice Lords in 21 states locked up together. So if y'all talking about we can't get together, use a lie, because we doing it right now. You might not see us out on social media because information is distributed on a need-to-know basis.
Hey, real tone, it's some real money in the room.